Nepal, one of the most beautiful countries in the world. Often known as the land of the Himalayas, it's located between the superpowers of India and China. The people in Nepal live a very simple life. And despite being one of the least developed countries in the world, Nepal's rich culture attracts thousands of tourists every year. But in 2015, this small country went through one of the biggest tragedies ever imaginable. The 7.8 Richter quake stretched on to a whole 1 minute, killing more than 8,000 people and destroying more than 150,000 homes. Hundreds of thousands of people were injured. The whole nation was traumatized, bringing in a situation which became almost impossible to handle. Numerous monuments were now just rubbles. And every other aftershock would only make the situation even worse. People were all over the place, broken, shattered. The country was requiring medical urgency. The hospitals were running out of place. Patients were coming in at such rates that they were forced to sleep in tents or even on the streets lying on just rugs. Despite having support coming in from all over the world, there was a shortage of medical assistance and supplies. To make things worse, Nepal suffered another major earthquake which brought down even more houses, taking away hundreds more lives. Nepal was living a treacherous nightmare. The people of Nepal themselves were quick enough to respond with all they could. Different organizations were making attempts to deliver all necessary supplies in different parts of the country. A huge part of the youth were volunteering to provide any possible help. Many countries were even sending financial help, medical assistance, and essential supplies as well. Among many of these teams was a group called the American Nepal Medical Foundation, shortly known as the ANMF. ANMF is an organization based on helping the medical situation of underdeveloped regions with the help of finance collected from American donors. The team in Nepal is called the ANMF Nepal, which consists of the best doctors Nepal has to offer. ANMF Nepal were already in action from the second day of the quake. They prioritized in sending medical supplies. However, they also sent food supplies, tents, and other essentials during the first phase. They kept on delivering acute work in the first 3 months. The team went on to different remote villages and also set up health camps, medical camps, through which they supported lactating mothers, infants, and took care of maternal and child health problems. This is one of the post-trauma stress relief programs organized by the ANMF team. The doctors themselves went on to the villages in order to comfort the terrified people. The program also helped the villagers to understand the situation and how it could be handled. Throughout these months, the programs of ANMF Nepal now had got bigger. The donations from America also began to come in at larger amounts. The ANMF team had gone on to villages across the Sindhupalchok district, which is the epicenter of the earthquake. And it didn't come as a surprise that the medical department in those places were in misery. This is the district hospital of Chautara. This has been closed for more than a year now. Most of the people from Sindhupalchok district were dependent on this hospital. After the loss from the quake, this area did not even have a proper medical institution. There is not enough place for serious patients, let alone the patients coming in for checkups. Even the sanitation is unorganized, putting the doctors themselves at risk. Sadly, this is only one of many. Across Sindhupalchok alone, hundreds of health posts were damaged. Some are even completely brought down. Due to the geology of the hills, most villages don't even have ambulances. It takes 3 days for a patient to reach the already overpopulated central hospitals in Kathmandu. Looking upon this situation, the team of ANMF began to realize that they could provide a much bigger help.
In the 14 districts that were badly affected by our quake, more than 400 health posts and more than close to 500 health facilities were destroyed. And there were a lot of friends in America, in the leadership of American Nepal Medical Foundation, started raising funds to help Nepal in this very difficult situation. It such happened that quite a significant amount of money was collected in the United States, directed all that money towards the relief and reconstruction activity in Nepal. And we, ANMF Nepal side, thought that rather than spending that donated money, which was hard raised and came from the hearts of American and Nepali doctors and medical people, we thought we should use it for a long-lasting effect in the healthcare of Nepal. And we thought rebuilding the health facilities, relatively permanent structures, would serve the purpose in the name of people of Nepal. And we proposed this to our friends in America, and they happily agreed to use significant portion of the donated money to rebuild number of health facilities in the badly affected area, in this case particularly Sindhupalchok.
As Dr. Koirala said, ANMF proceeded in this operation. The board of directors came together and started planning for the construction of health posts in different villages. They brought up a team of young and determined staffs, directing them the project and handling over the responsibility of the entire project management. A framework was made, researches were done, budget was accumulated, and soon the team set off to those areas they had targeted. Chautara, Attarpur, Listikot were few of those places. Building health posts were not as simple as it sounded. The team had to deal with the locals themselves, then the local authorities needed to find land for the health posts, government procedures were to be taken care of, and the building process was a whole different issue to be dealt with. The government of Nepal allocated ANMF with the responsibility of building 13 health posts in the Sindhupalchok district. It took some time before the papers were done. The government had finally signed the MOU for the project. By winter, the construction was on full swing. The team would have to make long trips to the sites to be present for the soil inspections, to deal with the engineers, the contractors, and to check if everything was going according to the plan. They would also have to answer villages about what was going on and how this health post would make their life better. The project faced a lot of challenges before its completion. The monsoon was one of them. The fertile hills were frequently brought down by landslides. Driving in such conditions was a lot of risk. Excavators clearing the way was a very common sight. As crazy as it sounds, all this was happening when the country was suffering a blockade from its neighboring country. Essential supplies such as fuel, salt, oil could only be brought through the black market. For the ANMF team, even making these trips to the villages would cost a fortune. The project was even put to a halt as the construction materials could not enter through the border. During the 9 long months of the embargo, the country was frustrated as the price inflated and caused serious problems to the nation's economy. This made life for the Nepalese even worse in the winter. With the earthquake making them homeless, the landslides destroying their crops, the growing rates of unemployment, not to forget the skyrocketing price hike, people were still living in makeshift tents in the freezing cold.
अनि यो अहिले आएर हिउन पर्दाखेरि चाहिँ अलिकति हामीले धेरै नै अप्ठ्यारो भइरहेछ किनभने यो हिउनले गर्दा जाडो एकदमै बढेछ अनि अब यो अस्थायी टाराले गर्दा हिउन धेरै पर्यो भने भित्र पानी चुने अनि भित्र चिसो पस्ने यो हिउँले अलिकति समस्या धेरै नै छ अनि माथि माथि भेगमा चाहिँ अलिकति जान पनि गयो भनेर मैले सुनेको छु.
When we opened the news, we saw an article in which there was news on how people are dying because of cold. There was snowfall, all the earthquake victims living in temporary shelters, how they have been affected, how they're dying of cold. It's so sad to see our own Nepalese people living like that. So that's when we thought that we should help them out.
The ANMF Nepal team collected winterization materials to help the people in this horrible situation. They distributed food, blankets, warm clothes and other essential materials. They had prioritized in helping villages which lacked proper road access. They ended up distributing the supplies in Kashigaon and Uyagaon, which is in Gorkha district, the epicenter of the first earthquake. After months of hard work, finally the project was completed. The ANMF Nepal team built 13 health posts and now handed the keys to the responsible people. With this, ANMF became the first organization in Nepal to hand over a prefabricated health post to the government. With the potential danger of aftershocks, the health posts were made earthquake-proof. The buildings were well organized, with different rooms where there was privacy for women, there was a small OPD room, restrooms, and proper checkup rooms. The locals could not be happier.
वैशाख 12, 13, 29 गते भूकम्प गएपछि हामीले त्यो भन्दा पहिला उपस्वास्थ्य चौकी थियो यहाँ सामान्य उपचारहरु हामी उपचार त यही भइराखेको थियो जस्ता विविध खालको उपचार भइराखेको थियो भूकम्प गएपछि भवनहरु चाहिँ पुनर्निर्माण चाहिँ पुरो चाहिँ ध्वस्त भइसकेपछि हामीले भने जस्तो उपचारहरु हामीले गर्न पाएन यहाँको समुदायले चाहिँ धेरै दुःख कष्ट भयो त्यसै कारणले यहाँको समुदायले चाहिँ भूकम्पपछि सारै नै बिग्राल चाहिँ समस्या झेल्नु पर्यो
धेरै ठुलो समस्या भएको थियो हजुरहरु आएर बनाइदिनु भएकोमा हैन धन्यवाद छ धेरै खुसी लाग्यो हजुरहरुले यहाँ बनाइदिनु भएकोमा
अहिले यहाँ हेल्थ पोस्ट निर्माण भएको कारणले चाहिँ धेरै सुविधा भएको छ भनौं न पहिलाको हेरिकन अब पहिला त अब हामीलाई धेरै गाह्रो थियो अब यहाँ नि अहिले हेल्थ पोस्ट बनिसकेपछि चाहिँ डर त्रास भएन डाइरेक्ट यहाँ नि आयो उपचार गरियो अब भनेको समयमै चाँडो भन्दा चाँडो उपचार गर्न पाइयो
सुत्केरी महिलाहरुको चाहिँ अब बीचमा अब जाँदा जाँदै पनि हैन गाह्रो हुन्थ्यो कतिपय त बीचमा सुत्केरी हुनु पर्थ्यो र अहिले अब केरे जाँच्दाखेरि पनि कोठा हुँदैन थियो अब ठाउँ नभएपछि महिलाहरुलाई त गाह्रो हुन्छ नि केटा अब गाउँ स्तरमा त केटा मान्छेहरु देखि त लाज मान्छन् हैन अहिले सबै रुम छुटो छुटै छ त्यसले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ धेरै सजिलो पार्दिनु भएको छ यसले डोनरहरुलाई चाहिँ धेरै 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 मुरी धन्यवाद दिन्छु है
The medical structure in these villages were very weak before ANMF started this project. These health posts will be making a huge contribution towards the rural health and will save many innocent lives. The invaluable contribution from the donors of America, put together with the execution of the ANMF Nepal team, has been able to make a remarkable impact on these innocent lives, for which the people of Nepal will always be more than just thankful.